Hello everyone. This week we are discussing darkness, and I thought it was really kind of fun that I ended up having such a busy day today, staying up a little too late last night, watching the elections, and I didn't have time to do my recording this morning. My day was a little busy at work, didn't have time to do it at work, and now here I am in the evening out in my yard in the dark. And I'm so glad that Molly presented this word to me about darkness. And I really enjoyed reading her dialogue about her experience with darkness. I think that one of the parts of our lives that oftentimes gets pushed aside or pushed down or denied is the darker emotions. So I've heard it called shadow work. I know that there's lots of terms for this kind of work, but I think it is really important to understand that these emotions that we all have, these darker, tougher, more difficult emotions that we all have, are very normal. And I've talked to a lot of young mothers about having newborn babies and some of those dark thoughts that come into your mind when your baby is really young, and how difficult that is. I've experienced great illness, extreme illness through cancer and heart disease, and I know how dark those times can be. My mom was very close to the story of Job in her last months of her life, that she really felt connected to her higher power because of her suffering. And suffering and darkness are part of life. So I think it's important to remember that it's normal to have these kind of emotions. We all have them. And there's no amount of good work or good feelings or positive thinking that can keep you from sometimes experiencing these darker emotions. And I also love the conversation that Molly was having about feeling like that negative energy of the world can get really close to you sometimes when you're not grounded, and the feeling of needing to come from a strong, secure place inside yourself so that you can shine bright when you are in a place where you can express your positive emotions. And again, that's not going to be all the time for everybody, for anybody, really. So I am glad that this word came up in this time. I think our country is going through something really interesting right now, and has been for a while. And I'm really happy to express my thoughts and feelings about the darker side of life. And I hope that people are comfortable expressing some of their feelings about that side of life. I know it's a little touchier as a subject, but it is important to remember that it's normal, and we all have these thoughts, we all have these feelings, and expressing them and learning how to express them in a healthy manner is really the power that can help you control them. So the more you're capable of expressing your emotions, positive or negative, the more control you have over your life and over yourself. One story that I wanted to talk about, because Molly talked about that internal strength, I had an experience in my life where I was going through a lot of yoga and a lot of meditation. I'd been going really probably 3 or 4 days a week to a yoga class, and I was working on emptying out I think that yoga class called it my danja. So there's a core of your energetic being at the inside of your body, 2 inches in from your belly button and 2 inches down. It's that base of your chakra system. And we were doing a lot of work to empty that base of your chakra system. And I remember going to a workshop one weekend, and they wanted me to imagine putting something in there. And they wanted me to put like a flower, like a rose in there or something. And I just didn't really feel connected to that idea. I tried. I did everything I could to imagine putting a flower or something positive in this space that I'd created inside of myself through meditation. And nothing really stuck. I was still struggling with feeling insecure, feeling like I didn't know my place in life, and I didn't know how to express myself the way I wanted to. And years later, I went to a self-awareness conference, an Enneagram conference, and I was able to I was fortunate enough to be in a group where we did an activity of guided meditation. And through that activity, they brought me to a place, a very comfortable place in my childhood. And for me, it was under a big pecan tree on the farm that I grew up on. And I could imagine myself, I was starting to cry a little bit, imagine myself being a little girl in this beautiful place under this tree where I felt safe and happy with the ladybugs and all the little fairy houses that I had built. And I really remember that place very vividly as a happy place for me, a comfortable, safe, happy place for me. And as I was expressing that image in this deep state of meditation, really, while I was talking to the person who was guiding me through this, I remember taking a very big breath, a very breath when I was in the middle of communicating it. And I had this intense feeling that whole scene, that whole little girl scene went inside of me and went into that core of my being. And ever since then, it's been a very profound experience for me. Ever since then, I've had a very strong sense, even when I'm having a tough day or things aren't going my way, I've had a very strong sense of protecting and caring for that little tiny girl inside of me that needs my protection and care. And the more I'm kind to myself, when I talk about being kind to yourself, the more I'm kind and empathetic to myself and the negative and positive feelings that I have, the stronger that feeling is inside of me and the more power I have to go into the world. The stronger I feel in the world, the stronger I feel in my place, and the more powerful I feel expressing myself, the more ability I have to control myself. And I think the deeper my life has been. So that one very profound experience for me has really stayed with me for all these years. And again, I have good days and bad days. Sometimes I get overwhelmed or I express myself poorly. And I just try to confront those things when they come up, take accountability for it when it's something that I've done, talk to people about how they're experiencing it, and really try to process through those things. But having that strong, brilliant core of knowing who I am and where I stand and where I came from was really powerful. And I just hope all of you are being kind to yourselves in this interesting time. And I really hope that you're able to express yourself. And I really appreciate you showing up today.